Okay, you know I was losing sleep over this one. And I gotta find out how much of this we can salvage. Our kingstone is flawed. Let me see if I can get this where you can see it. You can see that crack. That crack comes clear up into the face here. We also have another crack that developed just with it sitting there. This one wasn't here yesterday, but there's a crack right here in the face. So I had initially thought, so I don't know if you can see that one, but we got a crack there. We've got a crack here that comes up into the face. So the question is, what can we salvage from this? I think that we cut here off. We're gonna cut right here off. Here on this side, we've got to cut right here off. I may elect. There's enough on this side right here that I think we will cut this. I might get enough for a pointer, but I want to maximize the size of what's salvageable and left. So let me start. I actually might put a template on this, the biggest size that I think I can salvage from it. Trace that out and then work from there to see what we can save. If you'll cross your fingers that we can save something on this and at least get a ringstone or something. Let's take this journey. Okay. I'm thinking that this, I got the two choices here of different styles of calibrated cuts. I'm thinking that we'll go for the rounder, wider cut to start with. We can always narrow it up later, but if we can get it, the bigger the better. So I'm going to pick which one of these is the biggest I think I can salvage. It won't be that way, it'll be this way. It looks like probably an 11.5 is going to be the best we can do, maybe an 11. An 11 would be almost for sure we could get that much. So let's try for that. I think maybe I'll mark it as a 12, just in the off chance we can save that much. All right, so there's our crack. Here's our crack. So if I roll this one comes up to at least here, to right here. I've got such a good polish on this that I can't get the pencil to mark it. But at least you can see that our stone needs to be between this point and this point right there. Then the question is, do we try to cut this off and salvage a pointer? I'm inclined to not. Just because by the time I err on the side of caution with my cutting blade, I'm going to end up with just, maybe we will. Maybe there's an inlay piece right there or something. Let's see how it looks after we've marked it. Okay, that's what we can salvage. That's sickening. Am I right? All right, we're hoping that when that cleans up, we end up with stone. I think we can save 3 carats. I'll bet 2 to 2.5, but 3 would be ideal. Let me dop it up. All right, we're on a rescue mission. shouldn't have tried cutting it to salvage the sides. I think it fractured. Maybe it was just following the fracture, but I think it fractured further into the face than it may have if I had just taken the material off. Good news is I think we've got plenty of color bar to do whatever we need to do here. Nice thick color bar. I just need to get the shape. I'm more working with the shape of the bottom than the top, because the top's kind of fractured in, and I'm going to try and roll most of that fracture out. I might have to start working the dome before I can actually finish this shape. Because it's getting smaller all the time, but that's what we're working with right now. Come on, let's get some light. There we go. Who knows, we might get into an even more interesting, cooler color bar. I see it in there. Well, my glue didn't hold. So I've had a lot of people ask me how I'm dopping this up. I have UV glue. Let me show you. I have a UV glue that I got from Riley Gunn at Opal Auctions. I got a little UV light. I have a bigger container that I've bought since then and a bigger, better UV light, but this has actually lasted quite long. If you get this portion of the kit, I highly recommend this. It does occasionally, like if you don't have it perfectly clean or dry, mainly, it will occasionally pop off, but it works very good as far as holding, just gummy enough to hold it like wax would. The glass daubing sticks, this is the only one that's left. Two of them rolled off the table and broke because they're glass, and the other one just literally broke when I was just rubbing a stone and it snapped in half. That's the only one I've got left. I like those, but they're glass. So my favorite's actually for cheap. I get very good purchase on that right there. I actually took a little sandpaper and took the edge off of that so they're not too grippy, but I got two different sizes of dopping stick right here with just something that I had laying about the shop. Okay, go back to I think we can get a fairly high dome on this because of the thickness of the color bar. Good night. It's getting brighter the deeper we get into that color bar. It's almost too much light here now. Trying to get some of the light out of here because now it's too bright to. Maybe you're seeing it okay. Well, you get the gist. I'm looking at it close to make sure I don't have any fracture left. I'm not seeing any currently, but I don't know if I made it clear, but the second fracture showed up after I was completely done, after I left it sitting, just actually sitting on the scale for a couple hours. I came back and there was another fracture. That's just some Cooper PD, well, any Opal. It's just a risk you take, and it's going to be like anything. It's probably going to happen most on the ones you wish the most it wouldn't happen. But I think we're going to get something out of this that I'm really going to like. I actually contacted the Mativi Opal and told her I want another one like this. If she's got any more that have that same gray base with some reds in them, and another green, like the one that didn't quite come out like I thought. You know, it's just the way Opal is. I think when I looked at it, I saw the same thing that they looked at when they saw it. I think they had every reason to think that it would cut really nice, and it didn't. And I'm going to try and get two more pieces, one of each of the green and the red, to prove that it's just. I mean, I would love to have, you know, another 7 or 8 carat one like this if I could get one. we're about to the point where we want to go to the 1000 grit. I don't want to take any more off of this. Beautiful, thick color bar. I think we got our shape nice. We got a nice uniform oval. Sometimes the water on the edges will make it look to the camera like it's not quite, but to my eye, it's very close. Very close. Perfect. Okay, I think we're just down to the dome. Let me change the camera and we'll get to the 1000 grit. Alright, I think we can relax now a little bit and just enjoy this part of it. I think we're going to get something nice out of this, even if it isn't the size that I had hoped. Ah, I see crack. I see crack still in there, right there. Dang it. Okay, reduced it down a little further. I still don't think I've got completely all of the crack, but I think what the crack is left is in the color bar. You can maybe see it right there. Still there in the color bar. Let's see if we can roll it. Let's see, what would be a good song? I've seen that look before. Here comes that doubt again. You think that girl we saw was more than just a friend. Yes, there was a time I thought she had it all. She meant the world to me back when the world was small. That was a river. This is the ocean that never carried this much emotion. That was a river. This is the ocean. The loves we had before can never change this love. We're not imprisoned by the past we brought along. It's just you and me, one ship in the night. There are no boundaries, there is no end in sight. That was a river. This is the ocean that never carried this much emotion. All right. Not going to be big, but I still think we're going to, as long as we get all the, I don't see crack anymore. I'm going to cross my fingers and quit looking, because anymore and the whole thing is gone. I had a few people say they didn't know any of the songs I was singing. See if you know this one. Someone will get it. There, out in the darkness, a fugitive running, fallen from God, fallen from grace. God be my witness. There it is, dried off. Looking for cracks or if I missed anything on the dome. Pretty good. I never shall yield till we come face to face. Till we come face to face. He knows his way in the dark. Mine is the way of the Lord. And those who follow the path of the righteous shall have their reward. And if they fall as Lucifer fell, the flame, the soul, stars in your multitudes, scarce to be counted, filling the darkness with order and light. You are the sentinels, silent and sure, keeping watch in the night, keeping watch in the night. You know your place in the sky, you hold your course and your aim, and each in your season returns and returns, and is always the same. Alright, time to polish. And so it must be, for so it is written on the doorway to paradise. Those who falter and those who fall must pay the price. Come on, if you're from Australia and you don't know that song because of Philip Quast, who is Australian, Lord, let me find him, that I may see him. Safe behind bars, I will never rest. Keeping it wet. Had someone tell me that they thought that I could have cracked it here. I don't think so. I keep this wet. This whole thing is moist. It's never allowed to dry off. I'm not pushing hard enough to generate any heat. I'm just, well, that, and we saw the crack before we polished it. It didn't get worse during the polishing. I'm confident that the polishing wasn't the problem. It's probably enough polishing. You've seen that before. Well, there you go. That was, I kept taking it back and taking it back, thinking it was out, but it's just unstable. That crack on the right wasn't there. At least I couldn't see it. Well, let's leave it at that. See if it cracks to the point of being ruined. There's no point in taking it down any further. There was maybe no point in even trying to salvage this piece. It's a shame. What a beauty. What a ripper. Guess we should figure it out. 2.3. I was pretty close on my estimate. I love how this thing is green over here in the shade. Well, there you go. They don't all work out. And unfortunately, sometimes the very best ones don't work out. But we did the best we could. I don't know if there's anything I could have done different. It just won't ever be a perfect stone. They all can't be perfect stones. Thanks for watching.